Hello there. I'm Kyo Saron B Maker. And on this episode of the Monday Mindset, we're going to be discussing love knows no age. Who has drunk will drink. Who has dreamed will dream. He will not give up that alluring abyss, that sound of the fathomless, that entrance into the forbidden, that effort to handle the impalpable and to see the invisible. He returns to it, bends over it. He takes one step forward, then two, and thus it is that one penetrates into the impenetrable, and there it is that one finds the boundless release of infinite meditation. Victor Hugo. There is no love where there is no will. Gandhi. Change is the end result of all true learning. Change involves three things. First, a dissatisfaction with self, a felt void or a need. And second, a decision to change, to fill the void or need. And third, a conscious dedication to the process of growth and change. The willful act, the change, doing something. Dr. Leo. In the art of living, change is the necessary ingredient in self actualization. No matter what stage of the hero's journey or heroine's journey you find yourself in, dissatisfaction with self is the spark that lights the fuse towards personhood, that awakens the true self from the false coma. The first steps towards that spark ignites the embers of self actualization. The void begins to fill with the light of self motivation and decision. Dedication towards self actualization that initiates the actions of change and growth. This willful decision and action allows for an individual to make the necessary changes that will bear fruitful optimism of the future, self assurance in the value of your individuality and personality, along with the appreciation and respect for the essential reality. That is the experience through the art of living, giving way to the synchronization of manifestation and the balance within oneself. In fact, man may be the only living creature with sufficient will and intelligence to choose happiness. How sad that he so often chooses despair. An optimist is seen as a fool. A lover is seen as a hopeless romantic. If one enjoys life, he's called a ne'er do well. Man gets the feeling that if he's joyful, he is certain to be punished for it tomorrow. Dr. Leo. We live in a society that monetizes suffering and despair. You can look to um, you can look to our news outlets. I mean, every day, whether it's CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, Newsmax, whatever it is, whatever um, news network you watch or listen to, or Twitter, they're always, monetizing the fear and stigmas and stereotypes that we are dealing with. And you look at right now, you look at what's going on with the pandemic. You look at how, you know, if people are, getting attacked or harassed or looked at as, being anti-vaccine or anti-mask or any of that stuff when they, bring up, you know, reasonable um, explanations that have used, critical thinking skills, and there may be data and information to prove it. And I'm only using that as an example of, you know, we live in a world where we will hyper dramatize, whatever's going on, the fears, the anxieties, especially in America, whatever we're experiencing. Um, and it's unfortunate that we cling to that. And even people will, you know, you look at the victim mentality. We have so many people in this world, and especially in this country, that live in a victim mentality. And I mean that in terms of always saying, oh, it's woe me, this is happening to me. If only there's no accountability, there's no examination of self. There's only, thriving in that suffering and despair and dragging other people into it. You notice how you're having a good day, a good conversation, and then someone comes in and just brings up a horrible news story, and it's just negative. And people monetize that. We we like pain. We like hearing about those kind of things, and it's unfortunate because how often in those situations will someone talk about how oh man, I just, I finally got the frame of my car fixed, and I got this also fixed in my car, and this and that. Um, but then the other person is like, well, my car can't do this, and I'm stuck in this situation, and these parts aren't working. And so you start feeling bad, and like you're feeling their suffering and their despair, and now everyone's sad and they're thriving off of that. How often do we be in situations where there's always that one person that wants to say something negative, or bring the conversation down, or make it about some suffering or some issue going on in the world? um, it can be trivial, it can be serious, but it's unfortunate that optimistic individuals will tend to be bullied and shunned for expressing and sharing their optimism. We'll look at how often it is for um celebrities, whether they're minor or or major, who have struggled with weight and they're fit or they've lost weight. You can look at Adele. There's so many different women and men that you can point to who then get harassed and are accused of like fat shaming, or not being, you're not part of the community anymore, you don't support the community. And I'm using that as an example because I'm someone who's, slightly overweight myself. I'll admit it, but I ain't having no problem with the ladies. So. I'm just joking. Um, but it's they like a little bit of this teddy bear. All right, I'll stop fooling around. But I'm using that as an example of like, I'm not someone famous or anyone all that important. I'm just a humble Ronin. But like if I was someone big and known, and have always been kind of heavy set and knew that, and then I decided to kind of like lose my weight, and I had this fan base of people who were plus size and believed and were like proud of that. Then they would be mad at me. I guess I'm not a good example, but James Gordon, I think that's his name, he's a good example because he's a heavy set guy. He makes fun of the fact that he's overweight. If he came back a year, 2 years from now, took 2 years to himself, came back, chiseled abs, just like, you know, looking like a sculpture. Can you imagine the community of, of the plus size people who gravitate towards him? How pissed they would be. We have seen that. You could look it up with Adele. You could look it up with plus size models who like lost weight, and whether it's 100 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever. You've seen it with, what's her name, Demi Lovato. Is that her name? I think that's her name. I don't know. But I know that she was facing backlash for losing weight herself. um, but the reason why I kind of bring up this thing of like being bullied for sharing our optimism is it really goes to what Dr. Leo was saying, is that we'll feel like we'll get punished for sharing our joy, and that literally happens now. We literally live in a climate now where you will be punished, you'll be harassed for sharing your joy, sharing your accomplishments, no matter how big or small it is. And oftentimes it's because there are people out there who are struggling with those same goals that you have accomplished, and they are refusing to take any action. They are refusing to take any accountability. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society now, and the social culture promotes that. You know, we promote victim mentality, and we harass people that promote accountability and standing up for yourself and holding yourself accountable. And and you can't rely on the government to do everything for you, and that's true. You can't rely on the government to keep you healthy and in shape all the time. um, and so I think those are things that we need to look at in our societies. you know even with relationships, think about in relationships where you whether you're a man or a woman, and you just got into a relationship, and your friend or family member or someone is like, yeah, well, you better be careful because she's pretty and all, but she's a little too pretty for you, so I'd watch out, or girl, you better stay in shape because he's pretty fit, you don't want him to lose interest. And I'm only using those as like, think about people literally saying that. We've all experienced situations like that. Whether it's a raise at a job, or you got into a certain school. Um, those kind of things. People will throw out these little micro, these micro negative comments at you to kind of really unbalance you and destabilize you in your flow, and make you feel bad for being happy, for succeeding. We do that too often. We bully people and make fun of them for what they've achieved, and we'll say, oh well, they had help or this or that. So what if they did? We all need help. We all need help. No one has ever achieved everything all by themselves. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. If you think Elon Musk has achieved everything he did by himself, no, he didn't. We have to acknowledge these kind of situations. If it wasn't for all the scientists and engineers and mathematicians that came before him, he wouldn't have been where he is now. So we have to acknowledge that. And you can hate whether you can hate businessmen or all these kind of people for whatever reason, but you have to also acknowledge, what did they bring to the table? What did they do? And if you're gonna hate them for the work that they actually put in, that's 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 pathetic and that's cowardly. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's a CEO. It doesn't matter if it's a manager or a small business owner. We love to be so mean to people and their successes and bully them about it. We will praise them just as much as we will hate them for it. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society now that enjoys that and relishes in that and revels in it. It's just it's unfortunate. And even with the hopeless romantic concept, that has become exploitative, and manipulated, and profits off the easily malleable followers and influencers, gurus and entertainers. They will tell you how to love, how to be in love, and then they will criticize you if you're not loving and doing and being in relationships the way they want you to be, or criticizing the way you have your relationships. And it could be a healthy relationship. Hello there, and welcome to episode of the Monday Mindset. I'm sure y'all have been wondering where I've been all this time. It's safe to say that the Ronin Beatmaker is alive and well. The last few months have been a bit of a challenge, and due to the challenges I was facing, the Monday Mindset had to be put on hold till I was able to overcome said challenges. Hence the reason why I'm here now. I have overcome and followed through regardless of the challenges I faced. I can assure you, in time, I will be sharing them on future episodes of the Monday Mindset. Until then, my primary focus is to record the scripts I have written before I release anything. So please be patient with me. I assure you it will be worth it. Until then, if you wish to provide me with topic ideas, book suggestions, or just want to share your thoughts, or you're seeking advice on a particular aspect of your life, please, and I mean please, feel free to reach out via email at the Monday Mindset 009 at gmail.com, or find me on Twitter at Ronin Art and Music, or on Instagram, Ronin Art _ music. You see, the best way to show your support and develop a more personal relationship with me is to sign up for my Patreon. By signing up to my Patreon, you're not only supporting the Monday Mindset, but Ronin Art and Music, the foundation of the Monday Mindset podcast. By pledging your support, you will be helping me fund various projects such as EPs, albums, music videos, and collaborations, as well as help me improve the quality of music I am able to produce, as well as the podcast episodes with updated mixing and production software programs, along with improved hardware equipment. This will allow me to have a more professional approach when releasing new projects, music videos, and podcast episodes, that you and I can feel proud and inspired by the hard work that has been done, and that your support is making a positive impact on the world. Your pledge and belief in me will inspire and motivate me to succeed in my goals and dreams, to make music and a podcast that is positive and inspiring, music and a podcast and photography that we can be proud and enjoy. You will help fulfill my dreams and my grandfather's dreams in me. You see, I constantly remind myself that it's bigger than me, that my choices and actions not only affect me as a person and my future, but those around me as well. So every choice I make, and every song I make, and every episode I make of the Monday Mindset is to help those in need to find peace and relaxation and clarity and inspiration. Take that chance to follow their dreams. So please head over to patreon.com, look up Ronin Art and Music, and please show your support. I have 3 tiers. Please take a look at what they provide, and any support will help. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Monday Mindset. To learn more about myself and how you can support the Monday Mindset, head over to my Patreon page at Ronin Art and Music. That's Ronin Art and Music. If you're interested in reaching out, follow me on social media. On Twitter, Ronin Art and Music, or at me at Kios Ronin, KioosRonin. On Instagram, follow me at Ronin Art _ music. And if you prefer to email, hit me up at the Monday Mindset 009 at gmail.com. That's the Monday Mindset 009 at gmail.com, and that is all lowercase. If you're listening to this on your preferred streaming service, please make sure to subscribe. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment and a review, and slap that notification bell. On Apple Podcasts, please make sure to subscribe, rate the podcast, and leave a review, as this will help me and the podcast grow. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love.